442,000 folks fighting bugs. I'm thinking like maybe 20,000 folks fighting bugs. What really changed since before the first patch in Helldivers 2 until the current patch? I want to go over things that folks don't really talk about, like how hunters used to do almost no damage to players unless they headshot you. That was 4 hunters and I was chilling. Chargers would hit you and do some damage and knock you around, but they wouldn't kill you, and they could run you over and you still wouldn't die. I missed. I'm alive though. The chargers do a bit more damage. It could be one of two things. They're corn-fed and determined, or they're just angry that their herds have been slaughtered. There used to be 6 chargers walking out of a bug breach in some cases. Right here we have 4 on screen. It was glorious. 4 Bile Titans hunting down their biggest threat, a railgun diver. Imagine for a moment our currently buffed weapons against hordes of chargers and titans as seen as such. That'd be insanely fun. Also imagine I'm not crazy and the game's visual quality has gotten a bit worse over time. Could just be me. Either way, I need a new PC. If you do too, check out Apex Gaming PCs for their custom builds and pre-builds. Examples: Bronze, Streamer, and Streamer Plus packages. These streamers want to recommend with a 4060 GPU, a Ryzen 7 5700X CPU, water-cooled. You can finance this if you don't do an upfront payment. If you're looking for a hassle-free PC, then pre-builds are the way. Many thanks to Apex Gaming PCs for the partnership. Appreciate y'all. It was common to see 5 or more Bile Titans in a single bug breach. Now we have conventions of Hive Guards, Alpha Commanders, and Alpha Warriors sitting there plotting for your untimely demise, waiting for you to slip up and fall down into the death pit. The AI is also a bit different. The bugs didn't used to mirror your strafe. If you'd walk left, they'd just walk wherever they want to. They'd sometimes walk away from you. They'd be mirroring the strafe now a little bit. Try and go away, block your path a smidge. One of the funnier changes is Charger Behemoths. People assumed they were stronger or tankier than regular Chargers. Lo and behold, they're the exact same thing, only difference being they took longer to bleed out if you blew out their wagon. Now, the Charger Behemoths are tankier. This is taking 4 railgun shots of the same charge in the first clip and 8 Scorcher shots. Fun fact, all Chargers and Palers now have a lot healthier limbs once you strip the armor. It used to be 4 Scorcher shots, now it's around 6 or 7. The reason why I got buffed is likely due to the flamethrower, because it could kill them in less than 2 seconds. Arc Thrower had a much faster fire rate and could kill a Charger Behemoth through the face in around 6 to 7 shots, which felt amazing. Now, I'm not trying to say it's happening, but the devs may be a fan of the videos. Things that made it easier: no green spewers and no stalkers. They may have taken that personally, because what is this? My first mission on, and we have the spewers and the stalkers. I'm pretty sure that if you do ICBM, you can only get spewers. And as we saw from the initial footage, I did an ICBM way back when, and it was hunters. There was no spewers in sight, so I don't know why that changed. And I like the ICBM mission, I just don't really like battle spewers, so I don't tend to do that mission ever, if I'm being honest, versus bugs. Patrol changes. I do not have the footage I'd like to have, but on level 3 difficulty, I'm being hunted down like a scoundrel. Just spawned in, haven't shot my gun. I landed in this area, by the way. They're going directly to me. It was not the case before. Previously, we had patrols that be roaming the map. They'd just be walking around, doing their own thing, and if you got too close, they detect you, and then it's a brawl. Now they just know exactly where you are at all times. The most underrated change is getting kicked from a lobby no longer sends you back to your shuttle empty-handed. No experience, no samples, no nothing. Instead, when you get kicked, which I got kicked recently for no reason at all. I didn't do anything. When you get kicked, you're just on your own. It puts you into a solo lobby. I don't know if you can SOS from here and get more people in, but I do know that this is way better than just not having any chance. And I also extract from that mission, by the way, just so you know. Railgun only too, for the most part. I don't think many folks did this, but I would use impact grenades and sky nade tanks. If you hit the back of them with an impact grenade to the side, you could blow them up. I didn't know the side worked for a long time, so I just go for the back vent, which you can't really hit from the front. So, solution, you arc that nade so high it lands directly on the vent in the back. Land 2 of them, cook them with Crisco. Now it takes 1 thermite versus any tank and any fabricator. You had to lob grenades into the shoots of the fabricators to break them way back when. You can use the autocannon and ricochet the shot off of the top of the vent, which is really fun. If you didn't have that as an option, you'd instead toss in stratagems on the edges of the fabricators to blow them up, or on top. You could use eagle strikes too, and at one point, eagle smoke strikes. It was kind of neat. These days, you just toss in whatever you want. You can blow them up from Narnia using anti-tank rounds, using even railgun shots if you have the time. So, lots changed in that regard on the automatons, honestly. That's a big factor in what makes it a quote-unquote easier, as some folks may say. The autocannon, HMG, and AMR can go through Bile Titan and Charger armor. You couldn't go for headshots before with these weapons. It would bounce off for some of them, or it would detonate but not really do any damage. Now you can. And you can kill them in a decent time frame. 10 shots from the autocannon. I think it's a mag and some change in the AMR. If you had the currently buffed weapons on the olden day patch, though, I don't really see how impactful it would be, considering how many tanky enemies there were. There's 2 charges at least right here. I think actually there's 3 pulling up. Bile Titan approaching, getting chased down by an Alpha Commander. And I'm not sure if I really knew the power of the 500 kg in this scenario. Or maybe I didn't take it because I didn't really find it that fun. I'm not sure what's going on at this time period for me. But with the autocannon, you had to go for the attack shots. And this is with the PS5 bug active. Because you'll notice that I'm going to blow out its thorax in a moment here, which, if there's no PS5 bug in effect, it would die. But in this case, it is in effect. So I think I lost so much damage in that case. Because hitting the thorax, the wagon, was way easier than hitting the midsection. Because all the ricochets right there. This was a different time. And I also noticed that Alpha Commanders hit you like a truck. When they charge you, they do way more than, what is that, less than a quarter HP? They do something like half HP. It's almost as if they changed the Charger charge damage to the Commanders and then doubled the Charger charge damage in the current patch. I'm close to making a tribute for this one mission alone. Retrieve Essential Personnel, the best mission for samples the game's ever known, which we could probably use right now considering how expensive some of the ship module upgrades are. Here we have 13-minute runs, 15-minute runs, getting upwards of 70 samples every single time, or close to it. Like, y'all couldn't just bear that the mission was a little arbitrary in how it was set up. I gave y'all the blueprint, but for some reason it wasn't good enough. And it's still missing. They said they rework it. It's been months. Where's it at, Arrowhead? I need to know. The main reason I made this video, though, was to point out just how crazy the damage has changed and how much damage players take. I think it's a little ridiculous. But the fact that we take 25% of our HP in a single hit from a hunter, for instance, whereas before it was maybe a 10th, I find that a little crazy. It's a horde shooter. You can't really increase how many enemies a player faces if they're getting almost 3-shot by one mob. That's where I'm at. Realistically, all the devs had to do was just remove headshot damage way back when, and you wouldn't get one-shot by rockets, I don't think. You wouldn't be dying to the bugs in ways that don't feel that great. And you could then increase the difficulty of the missions by changing the objectives and making those more complex, or not changing, but adding new ones. And you could add in more bugs as well. Buff up the weapons so they can actually kill things. If you add the current weapons versus the previous AI and the amount of enemies they spawned, it'd be game of the year easily. It'd be so much fun. So I'm just saying that there's a lot more wiggle room to make the game more enjoyable, and there should be way less focus on challenge, because it turns out that the players can't even handle challenge. When we get a difficult mission, it gets removed or nerfed. Rep missions, too challenging, removed. The raise the flag versus the automatons, too many bots are spawning, oh my gosh, it gets nerfed. So I feel like there's a lot of strange stuff happening, and the reasoning I can't quite comprehend. But I want to point out some things that I've been noticing throughout the many months. And I try to do so not being so negative, so hopefully it came across that way. Anywho, thanks for watching, have a good day. Laters.